Slamdown is sponsored by Body Slam and Jam and WWE Smack Talk. Welcome to another episode of Slamdown Livestream. Today we're going to be covering Impact Wrestling. Wow, it's been a very, very eventful show. I'm trying to be careful what I say because I know a couple of things that's happened at the tapings and I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but the new changes look amazing. There's a lot of new talent that is coming. I'm not going to drop any names. Some people I haven't heard of, and some people I have. People have always said that they've always been worried about Impact having a small roster, and it seems like now they're growing it. They've done a mass expansion on the KO division, which worries me because of bringing so many in. Who's going to get the TV time? Who's not going to get the TV time? That's the worrying part for me. But the thing I am happy about is the backstage staff. I know a lot of people out there have been saying, oh God, not them, this, that and the other. But what you've got to realise is when these people were in power was when TNA was hitting gold. Back from 05 to 09. Yes, Vince Russo was one of the head writers. I don't think it's going to make a difference if he was there or if he was not, because from what I've seen, I'm excited. Really, really excited. And I'm trying to be very careful with what I say because I don't want to ruin it for anybody. But for me, wholeheartedly, I'm happy at last. You know, we've been dragged through reboots. We've seen great stars leave, like Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels, Kazarian, Bobby Roode, Eric Young, dropping all by the wayside. It's like a very good point AJ Styles said, with where he said TNA lost their identity. Which is true. If you think about, I'm going to say after Hogan era, sort of when Hogan left, TNA wasn't anything special anymore. It didn't have that something that made, oh my God, the X division wasn't as good. It was just falling at the wayside. The ratings were dropping massively. They were going from network to network to network. Was a sorry state, and we had a glimmer of hope, just a glimmer, when the new guy came in, and he was loaning TNA money to keep him to do tapings. He saved TNA for a short time. Billy Corgan did do right by TNA. His ideas might have not been great, but You know, he was looking to help TNA and wanted to take over. But then, in his words, that Dixie Carter was a sociopath, and it led to, as soon as he was put in a good position, that she was undermining him and everything else. Then we saw the lawsuit, and then we hear the word that Anthem have bought TNA. A lot of problems was from the money. You know, we saw in news outlets about companies coming out and saying how much money they're owed, and it was getting worse and worse. So I do have to applaud Anthem. You know, they've come in, they've paid the debts off, they're rebuilding. You know, they did some tapings, which, you know, we watched the last of January's tapings, which were good. They weren't brilliant, but they were good. You know, it's like Jeff Jarrett said, we're not going to do a reboot. We need to do a rebuild. So they got their tapings done and out of the way with. Let time go past. And as time's going past, building up, I'm happy the UK have got a network deal now with Spike UK. But as we know, we've got a new backstage team, new logo. Thank God they got rid of the owl, and they're rebuilding things slowly. So I'm really looking forward to this. I will talk about a couple of departures after I do the review of the show. I don't want to talk about that too early, but next week I will go into deep with the new signings, because I would have seen the show, so I can give my opinion on what I feel on certain people's debuts. Because at the end of the day, we've only seen images. We haven't seen how they perform, their character and everything else, and the persona they're playing in ring. So let's get into the this edition of Impact Wrestling, the last of the, I'm going to call it the last of the old era. That's the best way I can call it. We saw Rosemary taking on Jade in a last knockout standing match. I was quite disappointed in this match. After what we've seen in the past, you know, when we saw the Monsters Ball, I was expecting that same intensity, that same level of extreme. We really didn't get that. I felt quite disappointed. It felt like the match was very quick. It felt... it just wasn't as good, to be honest. Yes, Rosemary hit a finisher quite a few times on Jade to get Jade down for the 10 count, but it just didn't feel right. After that, we saw Moose says Cody's picking a fight with the wrong guy. After that, the Broken Hardys are at their personal zoo as Matt looks to test the powers he stored in Brother Nero's vessel. Moose is in the ring to address Cody, attacking him last week. Cody runs out from the crowd, attacks Moose, and from behind once again, Scurry tries to break it all up, unable to stop the big man. They finally get things under control with help from the locker room. Brandy comes out to try and calm down Cody, but it's no use. Cody ruefully attacks Josh Matthews. Yes. I'm sorry, but I loved it. I loved Josh Matthews being attacked. Because to me, he is one arrogant sod. Really is one arrogant sod. Now, I don't know if it's his personality I don't like about him or his commentating skills. I just don't like him. I've been very vocal that I just don't like him. I think there's other announcers that could do a better job play-by-play. You know, we even saw in the early days when he joined, making a lot of mistakes, mixing up people's names, and it's like, what the hell are you doing, man? It's like, right, okay. But I do like him playing this heel persona. I noticed it through the show, where he was being very arrogant and very, you know, like, I am the best, end of. I quite like that. I hope they continue that, where he goes, I don't care what these fans think. I know I'm the best. I want him to keep with that sort of arrogant heel sort of character. I think that works better for him. Trying to play the good guy, Mr. Nicety. Yeah, everyone... no, it's not working. Please please stick to playing that hatey character. Embrace the hate. You know, do what Vince McMahon won't do with Roman Reigns. Turn heel and embrace it. After that, we saw James Storm versus Jesse Goddardson. Now, a couple of times I have said I don't like Jesse Goddardson. I don't think he is up there with his abilities. I really don't. To me, he's average. I wouldn't even say average. He's an okay wrestler. I love the stable, the DCC. So the way they're using Goddard with the DCC, I don't like it. You know, I think the DCC should be that type of stable where they're hardcore, they don't care, they put people through tables, they make people bleed. You know, that's the kind of what they should be. If they're the Death Dealer Council, make them be that. Make them beat people to near death. You know, give them that kind of heat. But we did see James Storm managing to get the victory against Jesse Goddard with interference by Kingston and Bram. When the referee didn't see it, he hit the last call super kick to get the victory. Now, one of the most underrated and amazing performers in the X Division, Andrew Everett. I know he's been misused, jobbed out a hell of a lot. He's one of my favourites. And I've praised his ability in that ring so many times. A lot of the times he's been badly used. You know, him used correctly in the X Division could be amazing. You know, he could be the next big X Division guy. You know, with his ability wise, it's just, he's phenomenal. Not literally phenomenal, but you know, he's got that ability. You know, to me, he's got more ability than DJZ. Before I continue, I just want to say a big shout out to Sean who's watching us live. Don't forget to share it. If you're watching us, don't forget to comment, share, you know, all the usual stuff. Likes or no, actually, save your angry faces for when Josh Matthews does lunchtime or any show. Just save your angry faces for him, because I know it winds him up. So just give me the likes. Because then I can say to Josh Matthews, I've got more likes than you. But anyway, let's get back to this. We saw Trevor Lee taking on Andrew Everett with Gregory Shane Helms at ringside. One thing I would love to see, and I've been waiting for ages to see Gregory Shane Helms step into the ring. I'd love to see where Andrew Everett calls out Shane Helms and says, "Why don't you be a man and fight me in the ring?" Something like that. You know, because I'd love to see them two get on it. And I think they would make an amazing match. But we did see Trevor Lee managing to get the victory in this match. Everett did do a shooting star press, but Lee got his legs up. Then Lee rolls up Everett with a hold of the tights to win. Then we saw Brother Nero having a very powerful premonition. See now, every time I read about the Hardys, I always do the little say that premonition and things like that without realising I'm doing it. I've only just realised as soon as I said it that the Broken Hardys will be outnumbered in their next match in the Expedition of Gold. Vanguard 1 teleports them to the flea market in search of their next competitors. Senor Benjamin teases the promotion's number one promotion, allowing the Broken Hardys to take their place. We saw the Entourage taking on the Broken Hardys at the National Tag Team Championships USA. Doesn't say the name of the promotion, just National Tag Team Championships. The former number one contender attacked Broken Brother Nero during the match with weapons. The brawl spell out to the flea market. 2-on-1 style continues. Senor Benjamin assists Brother Nero, chasing them off with fireworks. Brother Nero returned to the match. Broken Matt Hardy hits the Twist of Fate, followed by a Swanton Bomb, and Brother Nero for the win. And defeat the Entourage to become the new National Tag Team Champions. Right. Now, I'm going to probably get quite a lot of hate on this. I've got to say it. To me, the Hardy gimmick is stale. I love the Great War, the slapstick. I like that. This, I don't really like the Expedition for Gold, to be honest. You know, it's too out there, and I mean too out there. With transporting to different places, and yeah, it's just too far fetched. You know, wrestling, yes, it's entertainment, but it has that realism to it. This gimmick had no realism. It's, yeah. To me, it's sci-fi meets wrestling, and yes, it reinvented Matt, but it went stupid. With talking to Anna, it went stupid. You know, they could have done something really amazing with this, but to me, it went all the wrong way. But that's my opinion on it. After that, we saw Drew Galloway approaches Moose as he's tended by the doctors. Galloway offers Moose a Grand Championship title shot in 5 minutes. Then we see Mackenzie finds Laura Van Ness sitting in a dark room, still in her wedding dress from last week, still drunk from her bottle. I wonder if she's still going to be drunk next week. We see Drew Galloway taking on Moose Grand Championship match. It was a good match. It was sort of an even Stevens. We saw the last round. Moose won it and just won. They made it look very close, but Moose just won it. And then you see Drew Galloway leaving disappointed. After that, we had Lashley taking on the War Master, Josh Bennett. To me, Josh Bennett had a few good moves, but he looked out of his depth. He looked like he shouldn't be there. You know. It was... Lashley, you know, he managed to hit a spear to retain the title, but Josh Bennett shouldn't have been there. He didn't look right. But that's everything with the whole Impact Wrestling review. Now, I'm gutted that the Hardys have left Impact Wrestling, but I'm not disappointed. You know, the Hardys are getting older. You know, it'd be nice to see more new fresh faces, or even some old faces like the Motor City Machine Guns. You know, I think the Hardys have had their day. You know, Jeff Hardy has been with Impact Wrestling for a long time. If you think back, he's been there a long time. You know, and Impact's done a lot for Jeff. They helped him getting off drugs. If you remember the Jeff Hardy versus Sting match, where Jeff was completely out of it. TNA helped rebuild him through rehab and everything else, and then brought him back in. So that's where I always respected TNA for that. So I don't think the Hardys are going to be a great loss, because another reason is the ratings never went up. The ratings stayed the same. So if the ratings are staying the same, then the Hardys is not really doing anything. Yes, you saw people on Raw going delete and stuff like this, but it wasn't big enough impact. But you can't have one good thing and then the rest of the show being average. One thing I am gutted about Drew Galloway leaving. But I'm also annoyed at Drew Galloway for his comments. Right. The whole company's going for a change. It's going for a restructure. Everything's being changed. He was moaning about not having a contract offer 3 weeks ago. Well, hang on a minute. Before the tapings, they only sort of knew what they were doing. They were changing everything. You know, you can't say, I want my contract. Well, hang on a minute. We haven't hired the right backroom staff. We don't know what we're doing. No, it doesn't work like that. You know, Impact Wrestling was changing. They did make him an offer. I know it was last minute, but they made him a really good offer. And they probably did say to him, you know, sorry this is late, but we've had to do this, that, and the other, and he's just gone, no. Quite annoyed with Drew by that. You know, he could have helped rebuild Impact Wrestling with this new team, and really worked with them to make a stand and prove that this is now the alternative again. But no. There's possibilities he could turn up Ring of Honor and do New Japan. We've seen a lot of people join that at the minute. Bully Ray, the Hardys have gone there now. But I think that's it. I agree what Warpig's just said, that he thinks they're thriving Ring of Honor. Do you know what? I think the Hardys will thrive in Ring of Honor. And actually says an interesting point, like Jay Lethal did. I think Jay Lethal would be another amazing talent to bring back. There's loads of guys I'd love to see back. The reason I like the Motor City Machine Guns is their ability as a team. That's why I'm gutted about the Wolves breaking up, because I would have loved to see the Wolves still as a team taking on new people coming into the company. But, you know, there's a lot of potential, and I'm really trying to keep tight-lipped about what I've seen. I know it's already been out there on the internet, but I don't want to spoil it for the viewers that are watching that haven't seen the spoilers for the tapings. But yeah, I'm just going to do a quick rating of the overall show, because I forgot to write matches. Rosemary versus Jade, it was lacking, 2 out of 5 stars. James Storm versus Jesse Goddard, 2 out of 5 stars. Andrew Everett versus Trevor Lee, I really enjoyed that match actually, 3.5 out of 5. The Hardys thing, 3 out of 5. Drew Galloway versus The Moose, 3 out of 5. Lashley Just Minute, 2 out of 5. So overall, on balance, TNA was a 3 out of 5. If I'm being completely honest, you know, but it was a lot better improved. I'm really, really looking forward to next week. I'm really looking forward to reviewing that show. I will be doing an unveiling soon as well, because I've ordered another 2 brown bag specials. So I'm waiting for those 2 parcels to come. As soon as I've received them, I will be doing an unveiling to see what TNA tops I'll get in these 2 brown bags. That'll be coming soon. I'm still looking for a co-host. You know, there is a lot still going on. You know, I'm looking hopefully to improve Slamdown and grow Slamdown. But like I said, Slamdown is for you, the fans. It's a fan's can't think of the word. It's a fan's point of view on individual promotions. You know, some people might disagree with my comments, but it's my opinion. But I try to look at storylines and angles where in the WWE would go with it and where I would go with it. You know, I do kind of look at those kind of things as well. But I think that's it for this show. I will be back on in just over half an hour to do WWE Fastlane. I'll try not to put you all to sleep. Pay-per-view went bad, but I'll talk about that in the next show, because this one's just TNA related. I can't say that anymore, can I? That's one thing I can say. They have abolished the TNA name. They've said it officially, TNA name's gone. They're going forward by Impact Wrestling. It's a bit of a bad habit for me to break, because I've been saying TNA since 2002, so it's going to take me time. But I want to say a big thank you to everybody that's watching. Do not forget to like and share this video. Big thank you for everybody watching. This has been your host, Ashley Friend, and this has been Slamdown with the Impact Review.